We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the drop that is occurring right now on Bitcoin. As you will probably already know, Bitcoin is currently trading at around $60,000, indicating that we have seen a major drop from our all-time high of about 73. Today, we're going to be talking about the events that have led up to this corrective movement and whether or not Bitcoin is going to be heading for its next stop of $55,000. Over the last week, we have been projecting that Bitcoin would be dropping down to this level right around $60,000, as we've been saying that Bitcoin was sitting in a symmetrical triangle, in a bear flag with a bearish price target, and we've discussed how $60,000 was a likely target for that drop. Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not Bitcoin is going to fall all the way down to our next target, which is right around $55,000. And of course, as always, we'll be discussing how we can achieve financial sovereignty over everything that we do here in the cryptocurrency space and grow our wealth for the sake of being able to live an awesome life, build a lot of wealth, be radically generous, leave a great inheritance, and overall, have it good. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for about 7 years, and one of the things I've learned in those 7 years about money is that it's not the money that makes you the money. You know, we always think that it's the market that makes the millionaire, and it's not. We always think it's the crash that makes the broke person. It's not. The market does not make you wealthy any more than the market makes you broke. No. The way that you build wealth has to do with investing in the market. But it is you that is doing the action. It is you exerting your will upon the world around you that leads to change. We live in this fatalistic world where everyone thinks that, oh, boo-hoo, woe is me, poor me. The market crashed. Couldn't help it. Nothing I could have done. I'm broke now because 2008. You know how many times in my life I've heard, well, 2008 happened. You know how many times in my life I've heard, well, that it hit the fan. Such and such happened. I got screwed over. Somebody lied to me. Did all of that happen? Yes. Is that sometimes the reason that everything is lost? Yes. You know, we watched a movie. It's called Unsung Hero. Tell me who's seen that movie in theater. We watched it on opening night last Friday. And it's about the For King and Country brothers and their family. Their father was a music producer in Australia, and he bet $1.2 million on a 2-week Amy Grant tour that went sideways, and he lost everything. He lost his house. And I couldn't help but think during the entire movie that while God worked through their story and turned, their entire family into this absolute legend in the music industry, For King and Country, Rebecca St. James, the father is now really well known again. But they went bankrupt and they had nothing. They were sleeping on their clothes on a floor. They were having a lot of people being very generous to them. The church came around. It was a beautiful movie. But I couldn't help but think during the entire movie that if that guy had have, instead of betting on growing while having a gigantic mortgage on a gigantic house, he probably wouldn't have gone bankrupt. He would have been able to not go through all that. Now, it turned into something beautiful, but you can't blame the market. We make the choices that lead us where we're going. And the market and our environment has a lot to do with it. I am very blessed to have been born in 2000. I would not be able to run a YouTube channel and build an online financial education company in 1700, right? I'm very lucky for that. But in the context of our lives, we don't get to make excuses and say, oh, it's the market. Oh, I just got lucky. You don't luck into money unless you win the lottery. And most of the times when people do luck into money, they end up lucking right on out of it, except it's unlucky, right? Because it's never their fault. Let me tell you something. If you succeed, it's your fault. If you fail, generally speaking, it's your fault. And you know what's beautiful about that? Is that if it's your fault, and if it's my fault, whether we succeed or fail, then all we've got to do is look in the mirror and say, I'm in charge. Not the market. I'm in charge. I will, in short, control the controllables and be patient with the uncontrollables. I will be sovereign over enough of my life that come hell or high water, I will put myself in the greatest possible position to build wealth that I can by leveraging the wisdom of those that have come before me. And so when I succeed, because I believe that it will happen, when I succeed, if I am lucky enough to live that long, then it will be because God blessed me, yes, but also because I put hard work in. And for you, it'll be yes, because God blessed you with being born at such a time as this, in such a nation as this. But also, it'll 100% be because you put the work in for it. So let's talk a little bit about crypto today. And let's just kick off our segment here by discarding the idea that the market crashing is why you're broke. If you're broke, it's not because the market crashed. It's because you had too much money in the market. It's because you had too much debt. It's because you did not have a written plan for money called an investment plan. You did not have a written plan for your finances. That's called a budget. You were not controlling the controllables. So let's discard with this idea that we can blame the market, and let's say, all right, we predicted that this drop was going to come. If you've been watching the stream the last week and a half, I've told you it's going to happen. I thought it was going to happen. I could have been wrong, but it ended up happening. We saw it coming. What do we do now? We control the controllables. So let's talk about it. Welcome to chat, everybody who is here. Abraham Lee's in chat. Satchet is in chat. Philly Skills, Dean, Cosmin B, Juan Ruiz, Joe Bollier, Jason Core, Marley 123, Sean O'Brien, Crypto Cousins in chat. Wreck the Bears in chat. Dean is in chat again. Joel, Romulosi, Nine Skulls, Sal Ruiz. ¿Qué pasa, Jeb, con Bitcoin? It is moving to the downside. It is moving to the downside, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Stacy's in chat, Alex Nybo again, Jason Berry. Pay them debts off. Buy dips later. Looks like we have plenty of time as things sit recently. I agree. Currently, I agree. Queen said, love your testimony, Pastor Jeb. Porque tienes feria? Jeb, I got to look up what feria means. I know what the rest of that means. Fair. I see. All right. Let's, $55,000 bye-bye. Yep, absolutely. Yo, someone said in chat, Nirvana replica. Mean Beam Okerlund said, smash the likes and let's get this party started. I love it. We've got 250 people watching. We've got 50 likes. Come on, guys. Really appreciate the support for watching the channel. But if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it always does help to support the channel. Now, Bitcoin is currently trading at $60,800. It is down 2.19% in the last 24 hours, down 9% in the last 7 days. We've seen a 7% corrective movement on Ethereum. It is currently trading below $3,000. Binance is down 7% in the last 7 days, down to $563. Solana is trading at $128. It is down 18% in the last 7 days. Cardano down 15% in the last 7 days. This is beautiful. Can we rest on that? This is beautiful. I am so excited when I see the market dip digits, multiple percentage points. You know why? If you've watched any of our Climate of Crypto videos lately, just about every single one of them has been about the fact that whenever Bitcoin goes through a halving in history, we have witnessed a massive rally within the several months and up to the next year that follow it. If Bitcoin follows history, which it typically does, that's why technical analysis is powerful, because typically history will repeat itself. If Bitcoin follows its history, then within a year, we should expect to see Bitcoin at least 150% higher than the price that it was trading at when the halving took place. That would mean that within a year, we would likely see Bitcoin trading at least $160,000. That means if you bought a Bitcoin right now, in all likelihood, you may make $100,000 in profit because you bought a Bitcoin. That is an exceptional return. Is that going to happen? I think so. Can I be certain? Of course not. I don't know the future any more than you do, but I can predict it based on what I've seen in the past. I can apply an understanding of mass psychology. I can apply an understanding of market sentiment. I can apply an understanding of technical indicators and historical patterns and the halving and the Bitcoin ETFs that went live and the history that comes with that. I can apply my understanding of what's going to occur with the Federal Reserve interest rates that are likely to be coming down, which is going to lead to an influx of money into the United States stock market, which will then lead to an investment in risk-on assets like Bitcoin, which is a pattern that we have seen over and over again. I also can apply my understanding that when Bitcoin has a halving, a lot of times at first, for the first 30 to 180 days, it goes through a crash crash, and then from there it will go into its rally, not right after the halving, but as many as 6 months later. And I can also apply my understanding that during the bull market, Bitcoin normally takes off. It gets the bull market started, and then you know what happens? It takes a step back, and the altcoins take a rally. That hasn't happened yet, so it makes sense to me that we would see an altcoin season coming in soon, which gives us a great buying opportunity. Since the altcoins are down 15% right now, I can apply all of that understanding and tell you with a great deal of confidence that this is not the end of the bull market. Can we clip that? I can tell you with a great deal of confidence that this is not the end of the bull market. This is one of the first steps towards sending Bitcoin beyond $100,000. It always needed this correction. I've been telling you for 6 months that it needed to correct at least 20%. Let's look at the history. In the historical analysis, we see that Bitcoin dropped last bull market and the bull market before it well over 40% multiple times. In the 2019 and 2020 bull market, we saw a 73% drop. Oh, but Jeb, that was because of COVID. Look at this. Before the pandemic ever even started, it was down 55%. Here in the middle of the bull market, we reach up to $41,000. We drop 30%. If you go back to 2017, the market would drop 40% in the middle of the bull market, no fewer than 5 times. 35.5% drop here, 38% drop here, 41% drop here. I'm giving you rough numbers, but you get the point. 40% drop here. It was on a 40% drop when I joined the space in July of 2017. 40% drop here in September of 2017. I remember that very vividly because Hurricane Irma had just struck our house and I was looking at it on my phone. All right, this is what, almost 7 years? This is the better part of a decade ago, guys. I've been watching this market for a long time. Bitcoin always needed this crash that we're seeing. And by the way, crash is a strong term. The last 48 hours, we've seen Bitcoin drop like 6%, 6.33%. But seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. And his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Bitcoin was almost always going to go back down to $60,000 because we had this ascending trading channel right here. And the head and shoulders pattern that's forming right here also gave us, hint, hint, for anybody who's been watching the stream, do you remember me saying all of this? Drop a 1 in chat if you remember me saying all of this. This head and shoulders pattern was likely going to lead Bitcoin back down to about $60,000. And on top of that, we've also been making videos. It's in the Climate of Crypto videos also. We've been making videos talking about how Bitcoin potentially could fall all the way down to $55,000, falling back down to this uptrending level of support. It's almost like technical analysis works. Does it get it right every time? No. Do you get it right every time? No. Do I get it right every time? No. But if we get it right more often than we're wrong, then it becomes what we call useful. And it tends to work that way. We're not going to get it right every time. If we get it right 60, 65, 70% of the time, that gives us useful information. That is the power of technical analysis in your investment. Make no mistake, I have never forgotten the importance of TA. I just also want to teach you guys everything else that it takes to succeed with money. Bitcoin is going through a corrective movement. I am of the opinion that it is not necessarily over yet, but I am of the opinion that in the next 48 hours, and hear my words here, Bitcoin will either crash $5,000 or it will kind of hover here right above $60,000, maybe even put in a small bounce. You're either going to see a major drop below 60 grand or you're going to see it just sit here and hover. If it hovers here, then a week later, you're probably going to see it go through a major correction down to about $55,000. This uptrending level of support right here. I change it to white. You'll see it, right? That support line. It's going to fall back down to that level, most likely. And then what's likely going to happen is that it's likely going to bounce off of it, and we're going to go into a big rally starting sometime later on in the summer. Maybe a month from now, maybe 2 months from now. But the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin always needed a corrective movement. If we drop down to this uptrending level of support, it'd be 25%. If we drop down to another support level that I've talked about at 48, it'd be a 35% drop. And frankly, that could still happen. Would it be good for the market? Of course it'd be good for the market. It'd be great for the market. So, should we be concerned about this drop? No, we should be considering it a buying opportunity. All right. Healthy retracement? Absolutely. Lol, everybody also uses the word rug. Yeah. Yes, the dip is beautiful. Praise the Lord. Preach. Welcome to volatility. That's right. God is tremendous indeed. Yep, bro, called it. Look, I did call this one. I've called it wrong sometimes. I don't want to sit here in my pride and think that I get it right every time, but we did get this one right, and so that's very exciting. Hola, Jeb. Watching your stream from work. Shout out to you, Turibit. Turibit. You literally have IBIT in your name. Do you have the ETF? I'd love to know. It's in your name. All right. Guys, I do want to let you know before we move on, guys, we've got a lot to talk about. But today, I want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. If you've not already signed up for NordVPN, make sure to sign up by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb and sign up for a 2-year plan to protect yourself for the duration of the bull market. The reason that you want to sign up for NordVPN is because it is going to keep you safe as you browse online, and that is an incredibly important thing to do. If you end up losing all of your money to a hacker or a thief, then there was no real point. I want you to sign up for NordVPN because when you sign up for Nord, you're going to be getting access to a software and a company that has been helping protect people for over 15 years from hackers, thieves, eavesdroppers, keyloggers, phishing emails, all kinds of nonsense that is trying to steal your wealth. So, sign up now and enjoy the fruits of security. Let's keep it moving here. Let's talk about the altcoins. As I mentioned in that little rant of mine, we almost always see a shift in the beginning of the bull market from Bitcoin dominance to altcoin dominance. This is nothing new. This has been occurring for quite some time. A lot of times, actually, Bitcoin is has very low dominance at the very beginning of the bull market. Similarly to how last bull market, it had very low dominance. If we look at this chart here, you can see the date. This is December 3rd, 2020. This is the time that we had about the lowest Bitcoin market dominance. Let's call it 11/26/2020, November 26, 2020, right around the time FTX collapsed. 37.89% market dominance on Bitcoin. Charting that on our chart over here, 11/26 is right here. Notice that Bitcoin's market dominance was the lowest when its price was the lowest. Now, let's go back over to CoinMarketCap, and let's see over here in the last bull market. We saw this that on January 20th, 2018, Bitcoin's market dominance was at its lowest at 34%. So 1/20/2018. This is at the beginning of the last bull market. 1/20/2018 is right here, right there. Bitcoin's market dominance is at its lowest point on both of these vertical lines that I have drawn here. Interesting, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Now, if we go back to CoinMarketCap, what we're going to see is that as time went on, we moved forward about a year and a half, Bitcoin's market dominance on September 21st, 2019 is at 67.53%. So that's 67. Let's call it, let's go right here. Right here's the bottom, 8/10/2019. Call it August 10th. It's about the same. August 10th, 2019. August 10th, 2019 is about right here. So you see, during this time period, this short little time period, Bitcoin's market dominance doubled. Pretty much the altcoins didn't really do a whole lot. Bitcoin took off. And it gobbled up market dominance. Between these 2 points are the 2 points that we're looking at over here. This little section right here, where, let's get the tooltip out of the way. This little section right here, from here to there, is that point in time. Why is that significant? Why does that matter? Well, the reason that matters is because what we see is that Bitcoin, when it goes through its first leg of the rally of the bull market, is gobbling up dominance. Absolutely eating dominance for breakfast. Now hang on. Yes, that's correct. Yep, I'm sorry. I just realized something. I put that in the wrong spot. This, I thought that was wrong. This is supposed to be over here. The point is we were gaining the market dominance throughout the bear market. I thought that looked wrong. So that is supposed to be right there. My apologies. So we're gaining market dominance as the bear market goes on. It reaches a peak moving into the beginning of the bull market. That looks better. I know my chart. I was like, wait, that doesn't look quite right. But anyway, we're gaining market dominance as we're going through the bull market, and the reason for that is because the altcoins are just kind of dying in the bear market. Makes sense, right? And then what happens after that peak where Bitcoin hit its like basically all-time high market dominance in the last half a decade? Well, up until about May 22nd, 2021, let's even go a little farther. Up to about May 22nd, 2021, Bitcoin drops on market dominance. go to 5/21, May 22nd, 2021. In this time period, right in here, the dominance is going down. So in this period, BD is going up. Over here in this period, Bitcoin dominance is going down. In other words, altcoin dominance is going up. What does that mean? During the bear market and the first part of the bull market, Bitcoin dominance goes up. Why? Because nobody's buying altcoins if they don't trust Bitcoin. That's why. If somebody doesn't trust Bitcoin, they're not going to buy altcoins because Bitcoin is the leader of the space. If the leader of the space says, I'm not going there, then how are the altcoins going to? The altcoins don't outpace the leader. It's like an organization. An organization exists in the shadow of the leader. That's why I have to hold myself to such a high esteem on the way that I act, because this entire organization follows me. And I have to grow. It grows at the speed that I grow. So I've got to grow quick, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance goes down because as Bitcoin flourishes, everything else under its shadow flourishes also. And oftentimes it can surpass the leader. I told my son this morning, because I was trying to convince him that it was a good idea to eat his breakfast so he didn't feel bad on the playground this morning. I said, son, it would be wise to listen to me. It would be foolish not to listen to me. One day, you will probably be greater than I. But for right now, you've got to catch up with where I am so that one day you can stand on my shoulders. And I want that for you. But for right now, I know more than you do. And you need to listen to me because I have good things for you. It's a similar thing with Bitcoin. The altcoins eventually are standing on the shoulders of Bitcoin. The altcoins eventually stand on Bitcoin's shoulders. But Bitcoin's got to do well in the first place. And the altcoins have got to pay attention and follow along. And so during the first part of the bull market, the actual bull market, the Bitcoin dominance is going down. Why am I mentioning all of this? Well, the same thing's happening here, and we forget the trend. Bitcoin dominance has been going up. Bitcoin dominance has been going up from this vertical line that we drew here in 2022 to now. We've seen Bitcoin dominance just all of this time. We've seen BD go up. Now, to put this in very simple terms that everybody can understand, if the Bitcoin dominance has been going up, does that mean we're more so in this period of the market or more so in this period of the market? Ding, 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 we're more so in this period of the market, obviously. And the reason that that's significant is because during this period of the market, Bitcoin did not even return to all-time high. It made a run toward all-time high. We rallied to $13,700. In this period over here, to where we are now, we have seen Bitcoin rally to about the all-time high. I would like then, therefore, to postulate that this high is not akin to this high, but it's actually akin to this high. Because this is the high on Bitcoin during the last bull market that we saw. First of all, it happened before the halving, so it's a little bit different, and we didn't have an ETF, which is why we've rallied farther this time, because post is during the halving, and the ETF has occurred, which balances out why it's higher than this high. But that does mean that when the Bitcoin dominance starts going down, altcoin dominance starts going up, then there's a whole other section of the bull market. This section of the bull market from this high to this high was about 2 years long. A lot of people thinking we're having a left-translated cycle. I think that while some of that has kind of occurred, some of the exuberance has translated to the left, I think we haven't even gotten started. I think we've got a lot more to go. And part of that's because of the dominance. The altcoin space is in the most developed place in its entire history. By a country freaking mile, it's in the most developed space that it's ever been. We've got Ethereum ETFs going online every week, it seems. One's going online today, or not today, later on. Right around now with Hong Kong. The dominance of the altcoins will start coming back. And this blue fill-in area, the Bitcoin dominance, will start to trail off. And that will be because the altcoins will be having their season. But what does that mean for us? It means that, one, we shouldn't be freaked out about this crash because it's all part of the process. And two, with this major corrective movement, it gives us a great time to load up our bags. You see, I actually just shot a video for the Financial Sovereignty Academy, which we're currently building, yesterday, and it's on our investment plan. It was a 31-minute video. Now, it'll probably edit down to about 18 minutes, but I'm really, really, really excited for it. I've got the notes. When FinSolve Academy launches, you guys will see it. If you get into FinSolve Academy, it's going to be absolutely awesome. I shot the video, and I was like, boom, that was great. It boils down to this. An investment plan is as follows. Every interval I or we, if we're married, will invest a certain dollar amount into our cryptocurrency portfolio on a certain exchange. So the example I used in the video was every Friday at 5 p.m., we, because I'm married, will invest $100 into our cryptocurrency portfolio, which is defined as between 5 and 20% of the dollar amount in the last variable going into a cash savings account that we use to buy dips, and the rest of it going into at least Bitcoin, but potentially more altcoins if we've done the research and we can manage them, and we will do that on Coinbase or on crypto.com, wherever. That is our investment plan. What we can do right now is we can build out that investment plan, and we can invest in projects that we reasonably expect will appreciate in value over time. Drop a one in chat if you'd like to hear some of the principles I taught in that video. By the way, this will be behind a paywall, so I'm giving you some free stuff right now. This video teaches exactly what we need to be talking about right now, which is why I shot it. It was on my mind. I said, you know what? I need to build this for the course anyway. Here are some principles from that video. I'm reading directly from the notes, and this will be going in FinSov Academy, which again is something it'll be a product for purchase. So I'm giving you this for free. A few principles to help with decision making. I'm reading directly from my notes. Never invest in something you don't thoroughly understand. Never invest in more things than you can comfortably and consistently manage. Never invest in something that does not already have a proven business model and track record. Never invest because of emotional attachment, the opinion of others, or peer pressure. Never invest in something without both spouses being on board. It's a great way to lose your butt and the intimacy of your marriage. Always invest in assets that you reasonably and logically believe will appreciate in value over time. Always invest in assets that you have time to keep up with, technicals, news, and anything else major affecting the price and future price. And in the words of my father, always do your own thinking. Be taught of others, but be sovereign in your choices. If you have broken one of these investment principles, immediately sell the assets or correct the problem within 48 hours. This may dramatically limit the number of coins you are able to buy. Good. Wisdom allows you to sleep better at night. Proverbs 3:24 says, when thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid, yet thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Speaking of the virtue of wisdom. Those are notes that I read verbatim from the video that I just shot yesterday that'll be going in FinSov Academy, so stay tuned for that. But the point here is that we need to follow those principles when we are making investments, and one of the principles we can follow right now is by always investing in things that we reasonably and logically expect will appreciate in value over time. And if you find an altcoin that you reasonably and logically believe will appreciate in value over time, and it's not because of emotion, it's not because CryptoJeb said so, it's not because Rand Nooner said so, it's not because BitBoy Crypto said so, nothing against those guys. I know all of them, met all of them, I care about all of them. Nothing against me, but not because I said so, but because you have done your research and you think to yourself, I like Solana because the people's coin, sure, it's inflationary, but it's got low fees, low transactions, things are being built out on it left, right, and center. It's at a big discount. It's down from its all-time high. Rust is an incredible programming language. They got Solane coming out, man. You're going to be able to port protocols from Ethereum on over to Solana. As soon as people start doing that, it's going to be big for the price. It's got a lot of TVL, $5 billion here. You know, you've got that news. You've got that information. You've got the technical mindset, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, it makes sense to me to invest in some Solana. You do all of that analysis, all that research, and then you say to yourself, all right, let's make an investment. Great. Then, can you manage it? Can you keep track of it? Can you make sure you're staying on top of the news? Can you check on the technicals? Can you be aware? Can it go on your radar? Anything that may impact current and future price. If you can do those things, then buy the freaking dip. Don't do it on debt. Pay off your debt first. Build a house with good construction materials. Building a house out of debt is like building a house out of wood that has been chewed up by termites. Don't do that. Pay off your debt, then invest. Jeff, I'm going to miss the dip. Better than going bankrupt. Better to miss out on some gains than to lose everything you have. Because you put yourself out there too far. That's a hot take. A lot of people don't like it. I don't care. It's correct. Don't invest on debt. It's stupid. You're not stupid. You're smarter than that. So don't do stupid things. That's stupid. Don't do stupid things. You're smart. Okay? Please. I will never apologize for calling foolishness foolishness, because it is not loving to the fool to not call them out for being foolish. Can you tell I've been foolish a lot in my life, and I wish that there was somebody in my life to say, Jeb, you're being a fool, quit doing that. No, I'm just kidding. People tried to do that. I wouldn't listen. That was called pride. That's a different issue. But anyway, if you're following those investment principles and you see Solana's at $128, great. Maybe dollar cost average into some. How? The investment plan every Friday at 5 p.m., every Monday at 1 p.m., every 2nd and 16th, because that's after my check gets deposited, at 3 p.m., every Friday at 1 p.m., whatever. We will invest $100 because we can afford to do that. $200, $25, 25 cents. I don't care. Just get investing. Follow the law of money that says you must save and invest if you want to build wealth. Then you say to yourself, what am I going to invest in? All right, well, I'm going to put 10% of the actual cryptocurrency allotment portion of the investment plan into Solana. I'm going to put 5% into XRP. I'm going to put 20% into Cardano. I'm going to put 25% into Ethereum, 50% into Bitcoin, whatever it is. I don't even know if that adds to 100. It might. Hopefully my brain did the work for me because I wasn't paying any attention to if it adds to 100. But you get my point. You do the research and you say, I can comfortably and consistently, keywords, comfortably and consistently manage 5 coins. I can keep track of them. I can do some technical analysis on them. I can come up with a specific and individual plan for each one of them for what price target I'm going to use to start selling them. And I am going to be sovereign over these investments because I want to make money. I don't want to put $150,000 into the market and have no idea what I'm doing. That's dumb. You're going to go broke. I've seen it happen too many times to be too kind about it. Stop doing that. Don't invest in things you don't understand and that you can't comfortably and consistently manage. That's not an investment. That's a gamble. Worse yet, it's stupid. Please. You're smart. You guys are very, very intelligent. You're so intelligent. You wouldn't be here if you weren't smart people. You're smart people. You're intelligent people. Don't do dumb things. Smart people do dumb things all the time. I'm one of them, guys. I know that God has blessed me with a degree of intelligence. I have done so many dumb things in my life because there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. There's a difference between being dumb and being foolish. You're not dumb because you did something foolish, and you're not smart because and you're not unintelligent because you did something foolish. You're a smart person, so do smart things. I care about you guys. I care about you guys so much. What do? Bitcoin might go to $55,000. We follow our principles of investment, and we make good choices. You want to be an investor? You do investor things. You want to be an athletic person? You do athletic people things. You want to be a rich person, you do rich people things. You want to be a kind person, you do kind people things. You want to be kind? Go find somebody that's kind. What do? They always say, oh, thank you. You know, whatever it is, the mannerisms. They like, oh, hi. Oh, you want a hug? You know, you want to be kind? You go find a kind person. You be like them. Here's what investors that make money do. They get out of debt. They have a plan for their money. And personal finance is called a budget. And investment is called an investment plan. And they save and invest for the long run. And you know what they also do? They say that they're going to be generous with the money. People like that. They'll bless you when you're generous. Be wise, please. One of the things that you can do that is also wise is you can make sure that your cryptocurrency is stored in such a way that it is safe. And one of the greatest places to do that is Vault's Uphold. If you go to the link in the description box down below, you're going to go over to Uphold's website, and you're going to see products and services, Vault. If you come here to Vault, again, go to the link in the description box down below. You'll be getting access to the #1 place to self-custody your Bitcoin in the entire game. And the reason for this is because of their assisted key replacement access, their assisted key replacement service, and access to instant trading. It is virtually unheard of to have access to a top-notch exchange where you can self-custody your cryptocurrency. In Uphold, you can set up your wallet to hold your Bitcoin and XRP, and you can have 3 keys. You have to use 2 of the keys to unlock the vault. So if you lose one of them, Uphold can give you, and they will give you, the second key, the third key, their backup key, their Uphold key, rather. It's called the Uphold key. And you can use your vault key or your backup key and the Uphold key to unlock it if you lose one of your private keys. So it is self-custody. It is completely in your hands. Uphold has no way of getting into it because you need 2 keys, and you have 2 keys. They've only got 1. The 1 is for backup. So you got the 2 keys. If you lose either one, Uphold will help you to replace it and restore access to your assets in your vault. And since you are working with Uphold, you also have access to 24/7 instant trading on Uphold. So you've got the ability to go in there and trade it while it's in cold storage. You just combined cold storage and a hot wallet into one and set yourself up in such a way that should you lose a key, which is one of the biggest concerns with cold storage, you can get it replaced by Uphold. Wow. That is an incredible idea. Access to instant trading, like a hot wallet, the security of a cold wallet, and a backup key in case you should lose access to your cold storage wallet so you get the best of all the worlds. I can't think of a better place to store your Bitcoin. So make sure to check them out with the link in the description box down below. Okay. Let's read some chat. Miguel is in chat. People, if you sell your Bitcoin, the whales will be very happy for it. Please hold and buy more if you can, doing DCA. Yeah, dollar cost averaging is exactly what you ought to be doing. It's great. It is great. Would be a surprise indeed if there is no second part and if we go into the bear market right now. I agree, Arthur DeVroom. That's absolutely true. Sal Bogets said, my man is completely wrong. Literally all wealthy people use debt to invest as the return should be greater than the interest payments. Not financial advice, one love. I appreciate the love and respect on that. I totally disagree with you. And the reason for that is because, first of all, you got to come at it from a few different angles. Biblically speaking, as a Christian, God never blessed somebody with debt. He blessed them with assets, with, you've got new land. The whole land of Israel, here you go, it's yours. Here's some sheep. Here's some cat. He blessed us materially quite often. Spiritually, obviously, more so. From a biblical standpoint, there are over 2,000 verses on money. Not one of them is ever a blessing that use debt. Not one time. In fact, the Bible also teaches that it is wrong for a brother to charge usury, which is the old English word for interest, to another brother. It is wrong, biblically speaking, for you as a Christian to charge interest to another Christian. Why? Because debt is a form of slavery. The Bible says that the borrower is slave to the lender. That's the biblical side. Now, if you're not a Christian, then you probably not care about that. The practical, not that that's not practical, but the practical and data backing of that is that some people that are worth a few $1 million use debt. You might be thinking of Graham Stephan. You know the funny thing about Graham Stephan's position? He is so much, he has a few $1 million in debt. He's worth about $25 million bucks. He's got about $3 or $4 million on his rental properties. He keeps over $1 million more in cash to protect himself in case something happened on the debt. He has enough cash on hand that he could pay off the debt like that. And so in a way, he hasn't completely eliminated the risk. In a sense, he's keeping the cash, but he's paying the interest payment. It's actually kind of a foolish thing to do. He has the ability to just pay off the properties, right? But he doesn't want to have less cash than he has debt. Why? Because he's worth $25 million. The guy knows what he's talking about with money, and he realizes that debt is risky. And it's a whole lot harder to cover a mortgage payment than it is to cover just the property taxes and the home insurance. It's a whole lot easier to be generous with your tenants when you're renting if you don't have interest payments. Now, on top of that, people that are worth $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, there are plenty of people in that realm that do use debt. The people that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars are very rarely using debt. They are almost always using things that are completely paid off. Kevin O'Leary, he's been on this channel. He's also one of the people that is very staunchly against debt. Dude's worth a few $100 million. Says one of the biggest ways to build wealth is by getting out of debt. Dave Ramsey, worth over $1 billion. He has over $1 billion in just real estate. Says the way that you get out of bondage is you get out of debt. The math is not good enough. It's not good enough just to say, oh, well, I'm paying 3% on the mortgage and I can make 8% on the money in the market. You can do that, but you're building a building out of bad materials. You can build a house a lot quicker if you pick up dead wood off the side of the road that somebody left there because they were gutting their house. You can build the house faster, but it's less likely to stand. It's not built on the solid foundation. When you build a building on mastery after mastery after mastery, man, I've mastered my budgeting. I have mastered my home. I've paid it off. I have mastered my Roth IRA, my 401k. I'm taking the match. I'm investing in the Roth IRA 15%. When you build on the mastery, it's a slower process. Same way building with any amount of quality is a slower process. But it ends up taking off faster because you don't go bankrupt halfway through when the market falls out from under you. So does it sometimes work out mathematically? Sure. Only if you calculate the reward, which is the return. As far as 3% on the interest on the debt, 8% in the market. If you forget that there's a risk component there, which is what you calculate in markets, then you end up neglecting the whole entire equation because you left out part of it because of the argument that debt is better. I'm not going to say that you're, a horrible person if you're in debt or anything. I will say that you'll sleep better at night. You'll be more at peace, and you will build wealth more sustainably if you get out of debt. When there's blood in the streets, buy, especially if it's your own. Let's go, Jeb. Yeah, it's hard to buy when there's blood in the streets, when you're the one bleeding because you owe so much money on your properties that now they're upside down. Think about that. The people that made money in 2008 were the people that weren't in debt. The people that were in debt were the ones foreclosing on their home and having to move. And I don't know about you, it kind of hampers your wealth building activities when you have to uproot your entire family and move because the economy forced you to lose your job, and because you hadn't paid off your house, you couldn't afford the rent, the mortgage payment, and you had to get foreclosed on and move. That kind of puts a damper on things when you have to uproot your whole family and lose your home. Doesn't work that way. Pay things off. Have a giant discretionary. You know what? One of the things that the most successful companies in the world do, they also maintain a ridiculously high revenue per employee. Apple, for example, has like $900,000 a year in revenue per employee. They're not paying their employees $900,000. They got crazy high profit margins. You know why? Because when you build wealth, now you can do this in two ways. You can exploit people, which I definitely don't endorse, but you can do it the right way also. You keep crazy high profit margins. You know how you keep crazy high profit margins? By keeping your payments low. Whether you're Apple and you're trying to pay $100 million a month on a building, why not just build the thing and pay the thing off and buy it in cash and don't have to pay that much money on it? Or in your own life, getting rid of the car payment, getting rid of the home payment because you bought a house, paid it off. Then what you're able to do from there is you have discretionary. One of the principles I taught in that video that's on the front of the channel, 14 Principles Millionaires Master, is wealthy people keep a very high discretionary budget. They keep their fixed expenses low and they keep a high discretionary budget so they have the ability to tell their money what to do every month. Already paid off the house, brother. Love to see it, Schmedley B. Love to see it. House built on brick, block, and rebar. That's a sturdy house right there. That's a house that's built without debt. This crash is getting me sick. I'm losing all my money. Randomness, I have a question for you. Do you have any debt? You don't have to answer. It's okay if you don't. It's totally all right for you not to. But I wonder if you do. No judgment. I'm curious. Because a lot of times when people are freaking out about a crash, when they haven't sold, it's because they've got a lot of debt, or it's because they don't have a lot of money in other things. They're not diversified enough. It's not just a matter of diversifying in the cryptocurrency market. It's also a matter of diversifying between markets. Diversifying into the stock market, diversifying into paying off your house. Now you got a real estate portfolio. Diversifying maybe into buying more real estate. People were literally freaking out over this correction. Should have been a year ago. Yeah, for real. It's not something to worry about. Not something to worry about. If you don't sell, you don't lose your money. Just wait. So long as you think the asset's going to come back up, I think the asset will come back up, but you've got to make that decision for yourself, randomness. Sorry that it's freaking you out. It is hard. And that's what I'm telling you. The way that you've got to have an antidote to the anxiety and the chaos if you want to succeed. You ever seen those football movies and they're like in the zone and the crowd screaming, it's going, and then it just like you hear the sound of the audience just turn off, and they're in the zone. They're looking right at the guy right in front of them. It's just, you hear the volume come down on the background, then you hear the breathing and the heartbeat, right? It's because they were able to focus. It's because athletes that perform at the highest level, entrepreneurs that perform at the highest level, they understand that they've got to turn everything off sometimes and focus. And it's a lot easier to focus when you have peace because you know that you've taken care of your family and they're behind you. You've taken care of your house because you pay the thing off and it's behind you. You've taken care of your cars because they're paid off and it's behind you. You're not having to worry about all that stuff because you have mastered those areas of your life. And so you're able to be freed up to grow because the background noise can turn off for a minute and you can focus on the guy right in front of you and you can go kick his butt and win the game. But you got to have that mastery. The way you master your home is you pay the thing off. The way you master your cars, you pay the thing off. The way you master your marriage is you love your spouse. Build a life on blocks of mastery. Every part of your life impacts every other part of your life, no exceptions. And so when you have chosen to go down that route of sovereignty, which is what I call it, which is the first command in God's word, subdue creation. Second, actually, after be fruitful and multiply. When you do that, your life gets better. It gets more peaceful. And because you have peace, you have the ability to focus, and you're not overwhelmed with anxiety and panic attacks 24/7. And you don't end up like that guy in the movie, Unsung Hero, that lost his house because he took the wrong bet at work. You will know pain if you don't follow what I'm telling you. You will know pain. You've already known pain in your life. I don't want more for you. Please choose wisdom. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure to go and check out crypto.com. If you guys have not already signed up for crypto.com, you absolutely should. They're the world's premier crypto trading platform, and this is the trading platform for go-getters who are designed and built for building wealth in the cryptocurrency space. You should go watch the latest brand film. Tells you a lot about crypto.com and their heart. It is a great place to do the recurring purchases of dollar cost averaging. If you check it out right here, you can go sign up. The recurring purchases feature is absolutely great. And one of the things I taught in that video yesterday, actually, in FinSolve Academy, is the importance of user experience. It is a behavioral thing, whether or not you succeed in markets. You have to make sure that the user experience of what you're doing is good, because you want to make it a habit, and habits form when when it's easy, right? The way you break a habit is you make the habit hard. The way you form a habit is you make the habit easy. I want the habit of you investing in the market to be easy. So choose a good exchange with good user interface, with good tools and everything that's needed for you to have a smooth experience with your investment. Crypto.com is a great place to do that, so make sure to check them out. The link in the description box down below. We're going to read a couple more chats, and then we will go ahead and wrap it out. Oh man, not this nonsense. That's totally fine. Hey guys, listen. The hate comments, the contrary comments are fun. They make for great video. I love it. That's one of the reasons why I want to start bringing callers on. You know, back in the day, I wanted to bring callers on like 3 or 4 years ago, and the team told me, no, that'd be bad because people would come on and troll. And I guess, I don't know, for some reason we didn't do it. Not that I'm inviting you to come on and be a jerk, but every once in a while, yeah, somebody's probably going to call in who's a jerkwad. And it's going to be hilarious. I know what I'm teaching you is right. I might be wrong on other things, but I'm not wrong on get out of debt, invest in the markets, have a budget, be financially sovereign. I'm just not wrong on that. That's not pride talking. I'm quoting the Bible. That's how I'm able to speak without authority. I am right on that. I might be wrong on what color the freaking sky is, but I am not wrong on FinSolve. I am not wrong on getting out of debt. So I welcome you to come on and debate me. I would love it. It'd be so entertaining. So I'm totally fine with contrary comments. They don't scare me a bit. But please, I do ask that we be respectful. But if somebody isn't, it will definitely make for great radio, if you will. Great television, great stream, great fun. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Stay tuned. We got a lot more things coming. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. As I said, we're going to wrap it out. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.